Thanks, Mel. Time for you to sound off. Everybody, make sure you call us. We'd love to hear what you have to say, or email us. The question of the day is, how do you feel about these COVID fees that some places are now charging in order to make up for things like PPE equipment, masks, perhaps it's plastic partitions or hand sanitizers, whatever it is. You might be paying more for those services you so missed out on all of this time.
Give us your thoughts. 1-866-267-3797. Also, your emails are welcome at feedback@breakfasttelevision.ca. And we're going to start with an email. This is coming from Gail, and Gail said, my husband got his haircut yesterday.
Nice.
The fee went from $25 to $40.
Ooh.
Ridiculous. Exactly the same haircut as before. I had my haircut, and it had only gone up by $5, but I tipped double from usual.
So it also raises that question.
40, yeah.
That's a lot. That's almost twice as much. So it's like, what's fair versus what's gouging? Are they taking advantage because perhaps they're behind on their bills? Or is it really the costs incurred for them to retrofit their space to make it safer for you? So what are you willing to pay?
And I think for loyal customers, I'm willing to pay a certain amount. What is that amount? What's your threshold for that? If you know why. I think the transparency is going to be very, very key during this time. But we want to continue to hear
Also,
from you and find out.
They should be fair up front. Like when you're booking, they should say, P.S., this is what it's going to cost you now, so you're not caught off guard when it comes time to pay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Let's go to the phones now. We've got Gwen on the phone this morning. Good morning, Gwen.
Good morning, Gwen. How are you?
Good morning, Dina and Devo.
It's so good to hear from you. You sound chipper and wonderful this Friday morning. Are you feeling good?
I'm feeling great. I'm retired.
Oh, good for you. You deserve it. In South River, Ontario. So how do you feel about potentially paying more for services because of a COVID fee?
I don't mind. I'm getting my hair cut for the first time on Tuesday, and she's added $3 on because she has to buy disposable capes.
Right.
And that's very reasonable.
Yeah, that's true. So you're willing to pay it within reason?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, if she said it was double the price, you'd question it maybe, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So you're looking most forward to getting a haircut?
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's interesting because, Devo, you had the opposite experience recently.
Yeah, so to go with you're talking about the capes quickly, my friend in London, Ontario, he said that his went from $30 to $40. It seems like 40 is around the cut, men's cut, and same thing. And it was for capes, for masks. They kept masks in case people didn't come into the shop with their own. So they told them what the fee was for, and they were very transparent for it. Right. But I went to go buy my old place, which is in a neighborhood. It needs some help. That neighborhood, which is partially why I go there, small business kind of thing. Yeah. And they aren't ready.
They weren't taking measures.
They weren't taking the measures that I felt were comfortable. Me, there was a mask worn by the person cutting the hair, but that was kind of it. I don't know if there wasn't disposable capes. There were people already waiting, and they didn't have masks on inside the place already. So I was just like, I'm going to pass for now. I'm going to wait because I still want to be loyal to the people that I go to and the businesses I support. But I will probably wait a little longer and see kind of if they add anything on to it. Because I know they needed to open up as well. But
would you be willing to be honest with them and say, listen, if you step up your measures, I'll pay more for it, and then I'll come back? Because they'd rather that than lose you, I bet.
100%. I'll definitely go by and have a quick convo with them and just see what their thoughts are and what's kind of going forward for them. Yeah.
Thanks so much, Gwen. Let's read this email from Debbie.
All right. Debbie says, hey, Dina, Devo team. Good morning. I wouldn't feel comfortable paying a COVID fee because I'm on disability income and I don't get much per month. Although I would understand if the business has to charge the COVID fee just to stay afloat, but there are lots of people who, like me, are struggling to pay their rent and bills. Yes, because you are on a fixed income, right?
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like so many people, it's hard to even keep food at the table right now because you've been out of work for so long, or on your disability or retirement or whatever it is. So to think that these services that you need are going to cost you even more, what if you don't have the means to pay it? Then what? Do you start looking at other options?
Yeah, and and a lot of people are looking at, well, I've gone without for this many months. Can I continue to go without until I potentially have my income where I need it to be? And that's the balance that I think businesses and customers themselves are trying to find.
Work together. How do you strike that balance? Right. Do you work something out depending on the person?
If you are a business and you are charging these fees because you need to help your business sustain what's going on, please let us know too. 1-866-267-3797. And I don't think people are going to fault you if you explain to your customers why you need them to pay a little more.
I just went to go get my nails done finally, Dee, and I got to tell you, they did have the plastic partition, the visors, the masks, all of that, so I did feel very safe. And for anybody who didn't have a mask, they offered one for you. So there are a lot of places that are going the extra mile for it.
Did you do mani-pedi?
I did mani-pedi.
Did you get charged a little more than you usually would have paid?
No, but I
Interesting.
tipped a little bit
Right.
more than I usually would because it's, obviously they're incurring so many extra costs to make it a safer environment, right?
And then business owners would say, okay, well, if we keep our costs at the same price, that tip you are getting is not going to the business itself. It's going to the person that provided you the service, which is great, but it's
Right.
not going back to the business, so it's not
costs.
helping us cover those costs.
Yeah.
I think that would be kind of the debate on the other side of it. So there's a lot to really kind of wrap our minds around for these businesses, costs that we might not even see. And again, like you said, been closed for so many months. What do you do with that
What
point?
do you do
right?
with that?
You
Because
need
they have to
really
stay
come
afloat.
back. Yeah.
We've got an email from Ross. Let's take a look, Dee.
Yeah, I'm on the fence, Ross says, and I think it would depend on the situation and company, but I think it should be disclosed before any services are offered. Then customers can make conscious choices. One option I would suggest would be to make it voluntary. I would be more inclined to give a little extra, especially where service was good, if it was totally voluntary. That's Ross from Mississauga.
Maybe that's the way to look at it, or do like, you know how we're taxed, so maybe it's like a tax of whatever it is, 10% more per service, so you can't go higher than that. And then if there's anything else you would like to add, if you're able to, then you top it up, so that it's like a middle ground. It's not going to be exorbitant. Let's see what Peter has to say. Good morning, Peter. How are you? Good morning, Peter. Can you hear us? You're live on the line.
Hi, good morning.
How
Hey,
are
Peter.
you?
Good, yourself?
We're well, thanks. Happy Friday to you.
Same to you.
How do you feel about a potential COVID fee for things like restaurants or, barber shops or nail salons, massage parlors? How do you feel about that?
I disagree very strongly because you still have to line up. You're still losing time. The service is not there the way it used to be. Okay, they got half the staff they used to have.
Oh.
Okay, so they're saving money basically because they don't have the people there to serve you. Most of the time you have to line up, pick up your stuff, and go, and you're waiting in line anyway. I shouldn't have to pay a fee to line up, pick it up, and go.
Right.
Or to wait because now they don't want to bring in the extra staff.
Right.
So does that
Because
turn you off from returning, or would you look at other places? Where does that leave you as their client?
I'd walk away. Unless
Yeah.
it's voluntary where they have it up saying, you can donate towards it. That might be different. That would promote me to give something towards it. Like I support the hospitals. I pay so much a month for frontline workers.
Yeah.
Okay? Because it's a voluntary thing. But they said to me, no, it's included in the price. I'd walk away from that restaurant or that store, whatever it is.
What if they say it's a 10% increase? Like it's something to help them cover costs, but it's not going to cost you so much more. Would you be okay with that if they said
It was an increase. If it's an increase in their price for whatever reason, yeah. But if it's for them to say it's for the COVID, no, I wouldn't go in.
Right.
No,
Thanks for
If the
being
price went up
honest,
from
Peter.
$5 to $8,
Yeah.
okay, for whatever service without saying nothing, I probably would.
Right.
Yeah. We love your honesty,
Yeah.
and I'm telling you, businesses are listening right now because they're like, what do people want? This is why you have to have your say.
Yeah, this is good. It's
We've
good to
got
get all
Frank
sides
on the
of it.
line.
Yeah.
Frank, good morning. How are you?
Oh, Rick.
Oh, it's Rick. I'm sorry.
Good morning, Rick.
Good morning. How are you?
Hey, I'm fine. How are you?
Good.
Doing well,
so good to
man.
hear you. Good Friday morning. How do you feel
Yes,
about a
and-
COVID charge? How do you feel about that?
Well, here's the thing. I'm kind of on the fence about it to a certain extent. Your last caller kind of stole a little bit of my thunder, but I'm thinking to call it a COVID fee, to actually use the word COVID, this has been such a traumatic situation for so many people, and all we're hearing all day, every day, on the news, on the radio, on the TV, is COVID, COVID, COVID. People, I think, are getting very sick just over that name, just overseeing that name. What I would do if let's say I was a hairdressing salon or a barber, I would put up a little sign and I would say, listen, as a result of the current pandemic, for the next little while, we're going to be charging an extra 10% to help cover our lost wages, something to that effect.
Right.
Or even what the previous caller mentioned, like a tip jar, but don't call it a COVID jar. You know what I mean? Even that I would be okay with, as long as it's reasonable. I'm not going to pay twice the price, but I think using that name COVID fee is too much of a negative, and I certainly wouldn't go that route.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I totally hear what you're saying. So whether it be a health and safety fee or a thank you fee, whatever you want to call it, give it
get
another
creative
name.
even. You know, so you'll have some businesses, or like, you know, you go to certain barbershops or salons and they already have that sense of humor because you know how their personalities are. So do something a little different like that. That totally makes sense, Rick. We appreciate the call, man.
Thanks, Rick.